Top 10 Female Weaknesses Every Man Must Know. Unveiling the Unseen. The Stoic Path to Irresistible Attraction. Have you ever found yourself diligently following every piece of relationship advice, only to be met with confusion and heartbreak? What if the very foundations of what you've been taught about attracting women are not just incomplete, but fundamentally flawed? Prepare to delve into the depths of feminine psychology, to uncover truths unspoken, and to equip yourself with insights that could redefine your understanding of connection and desire. This isn't another guide on fleeting tactics. It's an invitation to cultivate an inner strength that resonates far beyond words. The modern dating landscape, my friends, is a labyrinth, often appearing rigged against the very men who seek genuine connection. You've likely observed those who navigate it with effortless grace, the ones who seem to defy conventional wisdom. They grasp a profound truth. Women are not swayed by rigid logic or sterile reason. Their desires are born of emotion, often beyond their own conscious comprehension. Today, we embark on a journey to dissect the 10 profound weaknesses that reside within every woman, not with the intent to manipulate, but to illuminate the psychological currents that govern attraction. This understanding, wielded with integrity, will empower you to forge deeper, more meaningful bonds. This is not sugar-coated counsel. This is raw, unvarnished truth, and it will strike with precision. If you are prepared to shed old paradigms and embrace a path of authentic power, acknowledge your readiness. For those committed to uncovering enduring wisdom, consider joining the community that supports this unwavering pursuit of truth. Let us now turn our gaze to the first pillar of compelling attraction: the steadfast man, the unwavering anchor. In a sea of uncertainty, consider the modern woman, perpetually inundated with a deluge of options. Her digital channels overflow with fleeting overtures, her presence acknowledged by countless strangers, and dating applications present an endless tableau of potential encounters. Why, then, do so many men falter amidst this abundance? The answer lies in inconsistency. Many men today are adrift, their promises like whispers on the wind, their resolve crumbling at the first sign of difficulty. This lack of steadfastness is not unnoticed. It resonates deeply within the feminine psyche. The harsh reality is this: women approach connections with a natural caution. They have, through countless experiences, been conditioned to anticipate the retreat of men when the journey becomes arduous, whether after a few fleeting encounters or several months of shared time. They remain vigilant, having witnessed men fail to appear, fail to follow through, fail to be a reliable presence. It is precisely for this reason that the man who remains resolute in his decisions, his actions, and his words emerges as an undeniable beacon. To be steadfast transcends mere punctuality. It is the embodiment of stability woven into the very fabric of your being. You must become the man whose word is his bond, who executes his intentions without hesitation. In a world teeming with irresolute and unpredictable men, your unwavering consistency transforms you into a lighthouse, guiding through the tempest of uncertainty. Begin with the seemingly insignificant gestures. If you promise a later message, dispatch it. If you commit to a call at a precise hour, honor that commitment with exactitude. Steadfastness is not rigidity, it is dependability. She needs to perceive you as a man whose word holds weight, 4. Reliability. In this fleeting and often superficial era of connection, is among the most profoundly attractive qualities you can offer. Confidence, the quiet resonance of inner conviction. We are perpetually reminded that confidence is alluring. Yet what is its true essence? Confidence is not the clamor of arrogance nor the boastful display of self-importance. True confidence is a serene, unshakable conviction in your inherent worth, precisely as you are. This profound self-possession exerts a magnetic pull, for it is a rare commodity in an age where so many men ceaselessly seek external validation. Women are inherently drawn to the confident man, for confidence itself broadcasts security. Reflect upon this. Women carry their own burdens of insecurity. They grapple with concerns about their appearance, their reception, and their intrinsic value. When a woman encounters a man who is impervious to the need for external affirmation, who does not require her to affirm his self-worth, it is akin to a breath of fresh air. It is this inner strength that distinguishes the confident man amidst a sea of apprehension. Many men anchor their confidence to external metrics, their profession, their physical form, their social standing. But what remains when these ephemeral supports are withdrawn? True confidence emanates from within. It is the unwavering recognition of your value, irrespective of life's unpredictable currents. When you cultivate this profound inner confidence, you become impervious. Rejection cannot shake you. Setbacks cannot rattle your resolve. And you certainly do not require a woman's approval to affirm your self-worth. Embark on the cultivation of internal confidence by setting and diligently pursuing goals, no matter how modest. With each promise kept to yourself, you fortify this inner fortress. Remember, confidence does not equate to perfection. It signifies a comfortable acceptance of your imperfections. Embrace your authentic self, flaws and all, and observe the compelling response elicited by such genuine self-assurance. Ambition, the compelling pursuit of purpose. Ambition, in its truest form, is one of the most potent virtues a man can possess. In a world that often celebrates complacency and normalizes mediocrity, the ambitious man shines as one who perpetually strives for self-improvement. Women are drawn to men imbued with a clear sense of purpose and drive, for it signals a trajectory towards a meaningful future. Understand this. Ambition does not necessitate the construction of a vast empire or endless toil. It simply means you possess goals, that you are actively working towards their realization, and that you steadfastly refuse to settle for the inadequate. Women desire to align themselves with a man who is driven, for it imparts a sense of being, part of something grander than themselves. Your ambition communicates a refusal to merely drift through existence, and this, unequivocally, is profoundly attractive. However, many men err in this pursuit. They speak of ambition without the weight of corresponding action. You cannot merely articulate your ambition. You must manifest it, whether through your vocation, your personal development, or your chosen avocations. You must demonstrate a relentless pursuit of betterment. Ambition is about progress, not an elusive perfection. It is the continuous endeavor to become a superior version of yourself. Initiate this journey by establishing both short-term and long-term objectives. These need not be monumental, but they must compel you beyond your comfort zone, whether it is securing a professional advancement, mastering a new skill, or cultivating physical well-being. sure you are in perpetual motion forward. When a woman observes your ambition, she will instinctively desire to become a companion on your journey. The bad boy reimagined. The allure of deliberate mystery. Let us dispel a common misconception. When we speak of the bad boy, we are not referring to the reckless, indifferent, or emotionally immature individual. The true power of this archetype lies not in overt display, but in a subtle, often emotional unavailability. A touch of unpredictability, a measured distance, and unreadable depth. This, whether readily admitted or not, is undeniably magnetic. The reason for this magnetic pull is simple. Most men are transparent. They lay all their cards upon the table, over-explaining, over-pursuing, over-texting. While women may verbally express a desire for honesty and openness, and indeed they do, what truly captivates their interest is curiosity, the unknown, the delicate tension of not fully comprehending a man's inner world. This is the essence of bad boy energy. It extends an invitation, but not an unrestrained one. This is not manipulation. This is calculated presence. When a man refrains from excessive efforts to impress, when he maintains a serene emotional distance, when he does not immediately validate every utterance, he creates a space. And within that space, she leans forward. Her attention is piqued. She begins to ponder his thoughts. Why does he not react like others? This is the essence of mystery. And mystery, my friends, begets momentum. Some, misinterpreting this, will feign aloofness, attempting to appear cold, or detached simply to be hard to get. Women, however, possess an innate discerning faculty. The aim is not pretense, it is to genuinely become a man who does not feel compelled to articulate his every thought. A man too immersed in his own trajectory to constantly manage the emotional fluctuations of others. This distinction is paramount. Consider, when every facet of your being is revealed too swiftly, there remains nothing to uncover. When your responses are instantaneous, your availability constant, your emotional patterns predictable, there is no tension. And without tension, attraction, slowly and silently, dissipates. Let us draw upon the wisdom of Epictetus, who declared, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Apply this principle to your emotional demeanor. Speak less. Reveal yourself incrementally. Let your silence carry weight. Allow her to experience the profound impact of not knowing everything about you within the first few interactions. The men who sustain a woman's interest long-term are not those who bare their souls on day one. They are the ones who compel her to earn access, who unveil their world in fragments, not in a single deluge. They hold back, not out of concealment, but out of a profound understanding of their own worth. However, many men err in this pursuit. They speak of ambition without the weight of corresponding action. You cannot merely articulate your ambition, you must manifest it. Whether through your vocation, your personal development, or your chosen avocations, you must demonstrate a relentless pursuit of betterment. Ambition is about progress, not an elusive perfection. It is the continuous endeavor to become a superior version of yourself. Initiate this journey by establishing both short-term and long-term objectives. These need not be monumental, but they must compel you beyond your comfort zone, whether it is securing a professional advancement, mastering a new skill, or cultivating physical well-being, ensure you are in perpetual motion forward. When a woman observes your ambition, she will instinctively desire to become a companion on your journey. The bad boy, reimagined. The allure of deliberate mystery. Let us dispel a common misconception. When we speak of the bad boy, we are not referring to the reckless, indifferent, or emotionally immature individual. The true power of this archetype lies not in overt display, but in a subtle, often emotional unavailability. A touch of unpredictability, a measured distance, and unreadable depth. This, whether readily admitted or not, is undeniably magnetic. The reason for this magnetic pull is simple. Most men are transparent. They lay all their cards upon the table, over-explaining, over-pursuing, over-texting. While women may verbally express a desire for honesty and openness, and indeed they do, what truly captivates their interest is curiosity, the unknown, the delicate tension of not fully comprehending a man's inner world. This is the essence of bad boy energy. It extends an invitation, but not an unrestrained one. This is not manipulation. This is calculated presence. When a man refrains from excessive efforts to impress, when he maintains a serene emotional distance, when he does not immediately validate every utterance, he creates a space, and within that space she leans forward. Her attention is piqued. She begins to ponder his thoughts. Why does he not react like others? This is the essence of mystery. And mystery, my friends, begets momentum. Some, misinterpreting this, will feign aloofness, attempting to appear cold or detached simply to be hard to get. Women, however, possess an innate discerning faculty. The aim is not pretense. It is to genuinely become a man who does not feel compelled to articulate his every thought. A man too immersed in his own trajectory to constantly manage the emotional fluctuations of others. This distinction is paramount. Consider. When every facet of your being is revealed too swiftly, there remains nothing to uncover. When your responses are instantaneous, your availability constant, your emotional patterns predictable, there is no tension, and without tension, attraction slowly and silently dissipates. Let us draw upon the wisdom of Epictetus, who declared, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Apply this principle to your emotional demeanor. Speak less. Reveal yourself incrementally. Let your silence carry weight. Allow her to experience the profound impact of not knowing everything about you within the first few interactions. The men who sustain a woman's interest long term are not those who bare their souls on day one. They are the ones who compel her to earn access, who unveil their world in fragments, not in a single deluge. They hold back, not out of concealment, but out of a profound understanding of their own worth. And here lies a deeper truth. Operating with this deliberate mystery is not merely strategic. It is an act of self-preservation. Not every emotion requires externalization. Not every thought demands explanation. Not every moment necessitates immediate reaction or public display. At times, the most compelling action is to pause and allow her to wonder. Mystery compels her to remain present. It demands a subtle effort from her. And when she invests effort, even emotionally, her valuation of it intensifies. She leans in. She observes with greater scrutiny. she listens with deeper intent. And this effort, this is the fertile ground where emotional investment takes root. Yet, balance is crucial. Excessive mystery can render you inscrutable, cold, and detached. But just enough transforms you into the unforgettable. Therefore, cease the relentless need to validate yourself through constant verbal assurances. Instead, cultivate a presence that is felt but not always explained, seen but not always fully understood, known but not exhaustively so. This is where the edge resides. If you have ever felt your earnest efforts overlooked, perhaps the issue was not a lack of exertion, but an overabundance of exposure. Perhaps you revealed too much too soon, dissipating all tension. The remedy is not to pursue with greater fervor. It is to hold more of yourself in reserve. Allow curiosity to perform its work. When you cease to give everything away, that is, precisely the moment she begins to truly pay attention. Ignored attention, the power of strategic scarcity. Let us swiftly dismantle a pervasive myth. Many men erroneously believe that an abundant outpouring of attention, affection, and time will naturally enhance their value in a woman's eyes. They assume that constant availability, perpetual presence, and immediate responsiveness will finally underscore their earnestness. But here is the stark truth, often resisted by men. What is perpetually available quickly becomes invisible. This is not a call to engage in manipulative games. It is an understanding of fundamental human nature. We do not cherish what we can effortlessly possess at any moment. We value that which is rare, that which feels earned, that which compels us to lean in rather than recline. And this is where the concept of ignored attention takes root. When a man begins to withdraw his energy, not out of malice, but out of focused purpose, out of a refusal to supplicate, a subtle shift occurs. She begins to perceive it. The void, the absence, the silence. And this perception, this is scarcity. And scarcity, my friends, cultivates value. To be clear, this is not an endorsement of ghosting. It is not about deliberately withholding responses for days to prove a point. Such actions are insecurity masked as strategy. What I speak of is a redirection of your focus, away from her validation and back towards your own mission. Allow your attention to become something earned, not a presumed entitlement. For when she knows your time is perpetually at her disposal, your presence loses its inherent weight. However, when you become a man who exercises discernment in where he invests his energy, who does not abandon his pursuits at the mere chime of a text, who does not reorder his priorities at the first flicker of female attention, that is when she truly takes notice. And here is why. Attention is currency, emotional currency. The more prodigally you spend it, the more its value diminishes. Yet, when you hold it with strategic calm, devoid of bitterness, it becomes a potent force. Suddenly, your responses carry gravitas. Your time feels intentional. Your presence becomes something she must re-earn rather than take for granted. You are no longer the man yearning to be noticed. You become the man whose absence commands attention. And what transpires? When she perceives this void, she begins to pursue. Not always overtly, sometimes with subtle inquiry. A question here, a gentle check-in there. She probes the depths to ascertain your position. not out of manipulative intent, but because the attention once constant is now conditional, and she seeks to understand the alteration. Here, Stoicism sharpens our perspective. Marcus Aurelius wisely penned, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The true power lies not in ignoring her to control her, but in the profound realization that you do not require constant interaction to maintain your equilibrium. You need not dissipate all your energy to affirm your worth. Your worth is inherent, with or without her attention. Such a man, one who values his own time above external validation, stands apart. He is rare. He is centered, he does not chase, he chooses. And in a world filled with men who give too much too readily, he becomes indelibly memorable. I comprehend the impulse, the desire to respond swiftly, to connect, to maintain the warmth of a nascent bond. This impulse often springs from a genuine place of care and investment. However, unbounded care devoid of boundaries swiftly transforms into a liability. You inadvertently instruct her that your attention is hers to command, and once this dynamic is established, your perceived value begins to erode, even if her affection for you persists. Therefore, invert the script. Create space. Allow her to wonder. Allow her to lean in. Let your silence be intentional, not reactive, not dramatic, but a quiet manifestation of strength. If she withdraws because you cease to offer unlimited access, consider it a discerning filter. It signifies that her attraction was not to your authentic self, but to a version of you perpetually available. However, the woman who values substance will perceive the profound difference. She will notice the pause, and she will return with heightened clarity, increased effort, and deeper respect. If you have been prone to over-giving, over-texting, over-chasing, let this serve as your unwavering reminder. Your attention possesses inherent value. Do not bestow it upon one who has not earned it. Pre-selection, the resonance of being already desired. Let us now unravel one of the most frequently misunderstood axioms of attraction. You can articulate every correct sentiment, embody unwavering consistency, and possess an unshakable sense of purpose. Yet if she perceives that no other women find you desirable, a subtle yet profound shift occurs. It is not that her respect for you diminishes. It is that an innate instinct within her, wired to respond to social proof, begins to pose questions. Why are other women not drawn to him? This silent inquiry alters her perception of you, often unconsciously. This is the essence of preselection, the psychological principle that individuals are more profoundly drawn to those already esteemed by others. In simpler terms, being wanted amplifies your desirability. This explains why a man who enters a room enveloped by the confident energy of women often commands more attention than one who stands alone. This is not about ostentation or deceptive stratagems. It is the perceived value that fundamentally alters the dynamic. Women do not merely seek a good man, they seek a man already acknowledged as good. This recognition need not be romantic in nature. It could manifest as women engaging in laughter at your anecdotes, offering warm embraces upon seeing you, or subtly demonstrating respect in social interactions. These subtle cues convey a powerful message without requiring a single word from you. You have been chosen before. you possess the potential to be chosen again. This perceived risk, this is what ignites deeper interest. However, the common error lies here. Men believe pre-selection is about boasting, flaunting, or hinting at past admirers. That is not pre-selection. That is desperation thinly disguised. True pre-selection is not spoken. It is sensed. It resides in your comportment, in the authentic responses of women to you without you actively pursuing them. It is in the effortless ease you exude when in the presence of the opposite sex, not because you seek something, but because you are already a man admired. And that energy, it lingers. It speaks with greater eloquence than any narrative you could ever recount. Here, Stoicism sharpens the contours of our understanding. You do not chase pre-selection, you do not manipulate it. You become the man who naturally earns it through your disciplined conduct, your unwavering purpose, and your serene presence. You remain focused on your mission. You remain grounded, and in doing so, you attract the attention of women who value authenticity, not theatrical performance. Epictetus instructed, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." The same principle applies here. Do not attempt to explain why women are drawn to you. Do not strive to convince her of your value. Be valuable. Be so consumed by your chosen path that you scarcely notice who observes. And when they do observe, for they will, your inherent presence becomes its own undeniable proof. Consider this. If she witnesses your ability to command a woman's attention without losing your composure, if she senses that you have been admired, yet remain discerning, if she knows you have possessed options yet are not hasty in your choice, this creates a compelling tension. This communicates that you are not merely seeking to be chosen, you are deliberately deciding who aligns with your life. And that, my friends, is a rare quality. Most men rush to secure her, to validate her, to prove their distinctiveness. But the man who intrinsically understands his worth does not rush. He observes. He allows her to reveal her true self before he invests emotionally. And that calm, steady energy, it conveys a primal message. If other women desire him, perhaps I should lean in before another does. This is pre-selection in its most potent form. Not loud, not overt, simply undeniable. Therefore, if you find yourself believing that relentless pursuit, immediate responses, or constant self-promotion are the keys to her affection, pause. Ask yourself, would another woman of high caliber genuinely desire to be in my presence at this very moment? If the answer is negative, perhaps the focus should shift not to securing her attention, but to becoming the man who attracts it effortlessly. For that is the profound power, the undeniable advantage, the true leverage of a man who has already been chosen, and yet still chooses with discernment. Masculinity, the unshakable fortitude of emotional strength. Let us establish a fundamental clarity. Masculinity, in its authentic expression, bears no relation to aggression, boisterousness, emotional detachment, or an insatiable need to dominate every space. Those are meager imitations. True masculinity, the kind that deeply captivates women, is quiet. It is unwavering. It remains calm amidst the tempest. And above all, it is forged in the crucible of emotional strength. What precisely does this Emotional strength entail, it is not the pretense that nothing disturbs you. It is the profound awareness of precisely what does, and the refusal to allow it to govern you. It is the ownership of your emotions without being consumed by their teed. And it is the unwavering resolve to stand firm when adversity strikes, not to prove a point, but because you know intrinsically who you are. This is the man in whose presence women feel secure, not merely physically, but emotionally. He does not react to every provocation. He does not spiral into disarray when challenged. He does not crumble at the first sign of emotional withdrawal. He is grounded, not flawless, but centered. This is the zenith of masculinity, emotional sovereignty. The emotionally strong man does not suppress his feelings. He simply does not broadcast every internal tremor. He processes, he reflects, he maintains an acute awareness, yet he never permits temporary emotions to dictate permanent behavior. And in the contemporary world, such a man is a rarity. For let us be candid, we inhabit a culture that often rewards outrage, normalizes overreaction, and mistakes emotional volatility for genuine authenticity. Yet, deep within, both men and women yearn for the antithesis. They desire consistency. They desire clarity. They desire a man who can navigate through fire without losing his form. And this is why emotionally strong men exert such a powerful attraction. They do not pursue chaos. They stabilize it. They bring a calming presence to any environment, not by being the loudest, but because their energy remains unyielding. Women perceive this on a profound level, even if they cannot always articulate it. It is not merely about outward appearance or material possessions. It is in your bearing. It is in your response when circumstances deviate from your desires. It is in your manner of speech when wounded, in your steadfastness when tested. This is what compels a woman to lean in. This is what garners trust, not superficial charm, not social standing, but unwavering stability. Let us anchor this in Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius declared, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This is the very core of masculine energy, not dominion over others, but absolute command of oneself. The capacity to remain resolute even when emotions surge. This is what distinguishes you. This is what captivates her. Now consider the consequence of lacking this strength. You become needy. You overexpress. You vent when what you truly require is stillness. You pressure her for answers she is not prepared to provide. You attempt to resolve emotions with action because you have not yet learned the profound art of simply feeling and holding. And over time, this creates a profound pressure. It makes her feel burdened with the management of your emotional state, and nothing extinguishes attraction more swiftly than this. The emotionally fragile man believes intensity will win her over. The emotionally strong man understands that restraint is the more potent force. It resides in the pause before you speak, the calm that pervades when she withdraws, the courage to acknowledge your part in a conflict without succumbing to the paralysis of guilt. This energy, it is rare, it is profoundly masculine, and it is deeply attractive. So, what does emotional intelligence manifest as in action? It is the capacity to pause before reacting. It is the deliberate choice of your tone, rather than allowing it to choose you. It is the ability to utter, "I hear you," even when disagreement persists. It is the skill of discerning meaning beyond words within her silences. And it is the fortitude to hold emotional tension without an immediate compulsion to resolve it, simply to hold it. And what is truly remarkable? Most women have never encountered such a man. They have navigated relationships with men who retreat into silence when conversations deepen, men who become defensive at the slightest inquiry, men who panic the moment emotions surface. So when they encounter a man who can remain present, who can endure discomfort without fleeing, he stands out. She does not have to question, "Can I be authentic with him?" She simply knows. That is the true manifestation of power. Now, a common pitfall for many men is to conflate emotional intelligence with passivity. They erroneously believe it necessitates absorbing everything, perpetually yielding or holding space until their own identity dissolves. No, that is emotional submission, not intelligence. A strong man possessing high emotional intelligence understands how to validate without enabling. He knows when to listen and when to establish boundaries. He remains calm yet never diminishes himself. This delicate balance. This is what constructs genuine connection. For ultimately, connection is not forged through intensity. It is forged through consistency. She does not succumb to the man who explodes with ephemeral passion. She falls for the one who can meet her precisely where she is without judgment or fear. The one who does not panic when emotions become chaotic. The one who possesses clarity regarding his own inner world and does not require her to manage it for him. And this extends beyond romantic connection. Emotional intelligence elevates every facet of your existence, your career, your friendships, your capacity to lead. For it is the foundational gravity of relationships, the ability to influence without pressure, to connect without control, to lead without ego. Let us turn to the Stoic perspective. Seneca articulated, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." And emotional adversity, conflict, tension, vulnerability, this is precisely where most men fail to prove anything. They disengage, they cast blame, they flee. But the emotionally intelligent man, he remains, he listens, he feels, he grows. And when a woman witnesses this, she is not merely impressed, she is disarmed. For now she knows she can cease her performance. She can cease her perpetual self-protection. She can breathe in your presence. And when a woman experiences this, when she feels emotionally secure in your presence, it opens the door to something far deeper than mere attraction. It builds a foundation of genuine trust. Therefore, if you are weary of superficial connections, of conversations that lead nowhere, of being deemed nice but never profoundly remembered, this is the pivotal turning point. Cultivate your emotional intelligence, not to win her, but to master yourself. 10. Passionate interests, the magnetism of purpose-driven life. Let us conclude this list with what may be the most underestimated trait of all. It is not physical appearance. It is not material wealth. It is not superficial charm. It is passion. A true, profound personal passion. A burning fire for something that exists entirely independent of her. a purpose that propels you forward, irrespective of her presence in your life. This is what renders you profoundly magnetic. Do you wish to comprehend why? Because most individuals, both men and women, are adrift. They awaken, glance at their devices, attend to their duties, scroll, consume, slumber, and repeat the cycle. Their days are mere replicas of the preceding one, devoid of direction, devoid of a deeper rationale. Thus, when a woman encounters a man ignited by something, anything, she instantly perceives the profound distinction. She observes a man who is not passively awaiting the unfolding of life. He is actively constructing, creating, moving forward. That energy, it is rare, it is potent. You need not be renowned, you need not be affluent. But when you speak of the pursuit that animates you, your eyes gleam, your voice deepens, your entire presence transforms. She feels that. She perceives a man who is not merely passing time. He is deeply engaged. And that is where the true magic resides. For when your passion is genuine, unconnected to the need to impress her, it renders you attractive in a way that is utterly authentic. It is not about striving for her approval. It is about demonstrating that you already possess something grander than this fleeting moment. Something that defines you. Something that sustains your alignment when all else descends into disarray. This passionate pursuit could be music, the construction of an enterprise, martial arts, the craft of writing, the act of teaching, global exploration, the leadership of your community. The specific pursuit is inconsequential. What holds paramount importance is that it is uniquely yours, that it is authentic, that you would persist in its pursuit even in the absence of applause. For that is the kind of passion that cannot be feigned and cannot be disregarded. And here is the transformative twist. Purpose simplifies everything else. You cease to chase. You cease to overthink. You cease to gauge your worth by the attention you garner, for you are already complete. You have already discovered something that imbues your time with profound value. And when a woman senses that you are not desperate for her to fill your days, your thoughts, or your very identity, she leans in. Not because she seeks to complete you, but because she perceives you as already complete. That is what compels attention, not superficial effort, not artful words. It is a presence built through purpose. And purpose imparts another profound gift. It grounds you emotionally, for every setback does not strike with such force. You possess something to which you can return, a structure, a direction, a mission that transcends ephemeral feelings. When the world descends into chaos, or when relationships feel uncertain, you do not unravel, you refocus. That is Stoicism in its truest expression. Seneca wisely stated, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." You require a direction. You require something to propel you forward. For without it, you drift. And when you drift, others perceive it. You begin to seek identity in realms where you should never surrender it. Attention, approval, transient, validation. But when you are anchored to a purpose, you are not easily shaken. You do not need to chase connection. You become connection. You do not need to demand respect. Your very movement commands it. And let it be understood, this does not imply ignoring others or becoming so consumed by your mission that you become emotionally inaccessible. It signifies that your passion becomes a steadfast foundation, something you share, not something you relinquish. And the woman who truly respects you, she will desire to be near that fire, not to extinguish it, not to compete with it, but simply to admire it, and perhaps to grow because of it. Therefore, if you have been awaiting someone to bestow purpose upon you or seeking a relationship to ignite your vitality, invert that narrative. Find your unique path. Forge your own lane. Fill your days with such profound meaning that anyone who enters your life steps into something already significant. For the most compelling attribute of a man is not his outward appearance, his lifestyle, or his social standing. It is the manner in which he lives. And when you live with unwavering purpose, fervent passion, and clear direction, you need not pursue anyone. You draw others inward, effortlessly. This framework presents 10 profound psychological dynamics to which women respond, whether consciously acknowledged or not. This is not an exercise in manipulation. This is not an invitation to feign a persona. It is a journey toward becoming a man so profoundly grounded in his essence, in his values, in his every movement, that he ceases to chase attention. He naturally attracts it. And here is the ultimate truth. None of this holds weight if it is mere pretense. Confidence, ambition, emotional strength, purpose. They possess true power only if they are authentic, meticulously cultivated, genuinely lived, and hard-earned. Therefore, do not merely absorb these words and nod in agreement. Choose one principle, apply it diligently, embody it, and allow the man you are becoming to speak with a voice far more resonant than any words you could ever utter. If this exposition has provided clarity, if it has challenged your perceptions of yourself and your inherent value, consider subscribing to the Stoic Zen channel. More profound insights are perpetually forthcoming, always grounded, always sharp, and always dedicated to empowering you to lead your life with purpose.